Man, we're going to cover something really cool today, probably the most important part of your real estate business. We're going to be talking about building a buyer's list. Now, it may sound counter to what some might believe, but building a buyer's list really ought to be one of the very first things you do in your real estate business, or in any business for that matter. I mean, take a company like Boeing. They don't go out there and build a bunch of billion-dollar airplanes and then hope that somebody comes along and just buys them. They go and they find their client, typically the U.S. government or the military, and they ask them specific questions about what they want, and then they go and they design their products to meet the need. They don't just invest all this money and hope that somebody comes and buys their product. It's the old business adage, find a need and then fill it. The adage doesn't say create a peg and then hope it fits somewhere. And I think that's where most people screw up their wholesaling business. You take a wholesaling course, you go out there and you try to find a deal, and then once you find what you think is a deal, then you go out there and try to find a buyer for it, and that's just backwards mentality. Anyway, that's true no matter what business you're in, and as you can probably sense by the tone in my voice, that's a little bit of a pet peeve for me. So a couple examples of that. If you're, let's say, an attorney, and you want to open up a business, some attorneys go out there and build this really fancy office and buy all this fancy equipment, and then they sit there and hope their phone will ring, hopefully somebody's going to need some legal services. But if you're going to be a successful attorney, the first thing you want to do is determine who your customer is and then figure out how you can serve them. Same thing if you're a plumber. You want to determine who your customer is and then figure out how to reach them and how to serve them. So, again, you don't just hang a sign out and say, hey, I'm in business to sell houses and hope somebody comes along to buy one of your houses. You want to figure out who your buyer is, what they need, what they want, and then figure out how you can best meet their needs. And that's the way you're going to have success in any business. So since you're on this call tonight, and because you're all real estate entrepreneurs, I'm going to teach you how to build a list of buyers, a list of real estate buyers. There'll be people that are actively seeking to buy real estate. And your buyer's list will be made up of different kinds of people that maybe they have an IRA account that they just want to invest a portion of their retirement or maybe all of their retirement in some real estate. Or maybe some of the people on your buyer's list might be fund managers that have millions of dollars or maybe even billions of dollars to invest in your target market. And then you'll have everything in between, of course. Now just imagine for a second. Imagine that you found a really cool deal. It makes sense. The numbers work. And it sits right in the middle of a great area, your target market. And the second you ink the paperwork, you simply hit a send button on your email account, and you're able to flip that deal to your list of hungry buyers for a big fat profit. Hardly any work at all once you set up the systems, but it's really, really important to have that buyer's list in place before you have that great deal so that you're not wasting any time hunting around hoping somebody's going to buy a deal that you've put together. So in a nutshell, that's just called wholesaling. And in many ways, wholesaling is the fastest way for a beginner in real estate to get started. And it's definitely a strategy that almost all real estate investors use even to this day. We use it to this day, and I've been in real estate for 12 years. Interestingly enough, though, wholesaling typically remains a piece of every real estate investor's business no matter what level they get to. Whether you're intentionally building a list of buyers and intentionally making offers on properties solely to send out to your buyer's list to wholesale, or whether you're, putting a deal together and it just, for whatever reason just isn't the right deal or it isn't the right timing for you to buy that deal, and you just call up a buddy and say, hey, Charlie, I got this house that I put under contract and, I don't think I'm going to buy it after all. Do you want it? Either way, that's wholesaling. You're flipping contracts. You're flipping paper. You put a good deal together and you flip it to somebody that that also believes that deal is a good one. So again, going back to where we just were for just a second, it's really important to know what your buyers are looking for. So one of the very first steps in wholesaling is not to go find a deal, but is to build a list of those Charlies that you can flip deals to. Because after all, if Charlie would buy every deal that you had, you wouldn't need to blast a list of emails, right? But if Charlie isn't, 1,001% committed to buying every single piece of junk and every single nice house and every rent-ready house that you come across with a contract, then you better think about having a list of buyers who have, slightly different appetites and maybe slightly different sized bank accounts, so that you'll have an opportunity to sell your deals every time that they come up. So once you've developed a list, or once you've developed a relationship with your list, I should say, and you have a list of people with lots of money to buy real estate with, let me say that again. I want you to catch this. Once you've developed a relationship with your list of people with lots of money that want to buy real estate, that's right, I said build a relationship, and I said people with lots of money. When you find a perfect deal for yourself, or you decide to graduate past just doing wholesaling, who do you think you're going to call to either be your next, joint venture partner, or maybe your private lender, or maybe even your equity partner in a syndication or something like that? That's right. You've developed a relationship with a group of people, a whole list of people that have resources that you might bring something to the table and they bring something to the table. And that's what a perfect partnership is all about. So it certainly doesn't hurt you to have a list of smart people with money, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today. But before we get started, I want to mention a couple of things. The first thing is I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, because this is going to be some meaty stuff, and I want you to catch it all. Now, this is just a call today, so we don't have any slides or any images for you to look at, so make sure you get out a pen or a pencil and take notes, because we're going to go through some really good stuff, and I don't want you to miss it. Number two, if you're at your computer, log on to www. Did we say that anymore? Anyway, log on to 12properties.com. Log on there real quick, and you can check out one of my lead-generating squeeze pages. And we'll go over how to build a squeeze page in just a couple of minutes, and I'm going to teach you step-by-step on how to put something together just like this. In fact, I'm going to even give you the template so you can copy mine and take it and modify it if you want to. But this works. It works for us. We use squeeze pages all the time to find buyers, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So I just wanted you to log on to that 12properties.com. I don't necessarily need you to sign in. You can if you want. If you're interested in seeing properties that are for sale in LA, you can. But mostly it's just a prop. I want to show you what one of our buyers list building systems are and use it as an example. And then last but not least, I want you to set aside a special piece of paper, because after this training, I'm going to give you a big, fat, profit-centered bonus, and it will only be given here on this call tonight. And so if you miss it, you're going to miss it for good. So I want you to make sure you set aside a piece of paper, and in the top left-hand corner, I want you to write down the words, bonus from Skinner. You got that? Keep it close, because you're going to use it. Okay. So by the way, at any time you have a question on this call, you can hit *6 on your phone, and it will queue it up for me to unmute your phone. I've got everybody on mute right now because, a lot of times we're doing conference calls like this, and we've got, 50, 60, 80 people on the call, and somebody happens to be walking through New York City, and there's sirens going on and all these things in the background. So we've just come to the conclusion we're going to mute everybody's call, but still give you the opportunity to chime in if you need to. So hit *6 if you want to be queued up to ask a question. And if we have enough time, I'll answer all your questions after the training. But if we run out of time, you'll be able to get all your questions answered right on the bonus that I'm going to give you. So keep that bonus paper handy and make sure you take that stuff down. So let's talk about marketing. The first thing in marketing is to identify your target market. Know who your target market is and know who your target market is not. So obviously, I think it's obvious anyway, your target market when you're building a buyer's list is you're looking for people with money, and you're looking for people looking to buy real estate. They need to be both of those things in order to qualify as your target market. And you can even drill down on that target market and say, I'm only going to look for people that want to buy junker properties to rehab, or I'm only going to target market people that want to buy, rent-ready houses that they're ready to buy and just rent out. Or you might say apartments or commercial. The point is, you can get as specific on your buyer's list as you plan to be specific in your marketing for properties that you're going to put under contract. So, and the other point of that is you can wholesale any type of property, whether it's apartments, commercial, land, single-family residence, and whatnot. So, don't limit yourself. So let's explore a couple things, a couple types of people that don't qualify for your target market list as far as buyers go. Number one, you don't want a bunch of broke people on your buyers list, because how many houses do you think you're going to sell all cash to broke people, right? So try to exclude those people from your list as quickly as you can so they don't waste your time. The other type of person that you don't want on your buyer's list is you want to try to weed out other wholesalers. Now, other wholesalers can be a huge component in your wholesaling business and in your real estate business, and we'll explore that in more detail in just a minute. But they definitely don't belong on your buyer's list. Like I said, we'll get to more about that in just a second. So the third person that you don't necessarily want on your buyer's list are people with money that don't have any interest in investing in real estate. So just because they have money doesn't mean they meet your buyer's list criteria. The second thing in marketing is figure out where to meet these folks. So you've identified who you want to meet, who you want to do business with, who you want to sell your properties to. And so the second thing you want to figure out is, all right, so how do I go out and meet these folks? How do I not just put them into my database, but how do I develop a relationship with people that are qualified to be on my buyer's list? And I'll say number one is probably a little bit obvious. Go to real estate investment clubs. We just started one here in Burbank, California, and we already have a couple of deals in the works from the new relationships that we've built just from that. And so definitely want to be making it to your local RIA clubs and real estate investment clubs and things like that. Another place is a great place to meet people that have money and are certainly interested in buying real estate are real estate forums or platforms like our underground coaching system and things like that, where you're going to network and meet with other people that have already invested in the same type of training that you've invested in, and they're getting the same kind of coaching and mentoring system that you're plugged into. So you already have a commonality to develop a relationship from, and you already know that they meet your criteria in those regards. And we'll talk a little bit about networking in just a second. But another place a great place, I should say, to meet people that will fit your criteria for a buyer's list are real estate seminars. I've met a lot of people at different kinds of real estate seminars, different kinds of real estate trainings that I've just developed long-term relationships with, and many of them are on my buyer's list to this day. In fact, I have people out of state, that are interested and have bought properties from me in Southern California because I met them at a seminar, across the country. I meet them in Chicago. They live in Hawaii. They want to buy a property in California, and gosh, what a great relationship that can become. So when you go to seminars, make sure that you work the room and develop relationship with people that you can help and with people that can help you. Now, other people might say you can meet people at golf courses or, country clubs or things like that. I'm going to suggest that it's a little bit of a harder place to identify people that really have a deep interest in real estate. However, I don't want to count you out, or tell you not to go to the golf course by all means. There's lots of deals to get done on the golf course, but I'm just saying there are some easier places to meet people that meet your criteria, and there are some more difficult places to meet people that meet your criteria. The point is, hang out, make it a habit to hang out at places that have people that have money and are interested in real estate, and network with intention. Have an intent to go out and meet people that you can do business with. So a couple key things to networking. The first thing I'm going to suggest is that you're always going to want to have your elevator pitch ready to go. You want to purposely get caught in an elevator, so to speak. And I don't mean that literally, but figuratively, you want to position yourself in a networking situation where you can go over and introduce yourself to somebody. I've intentionally gone to very specific clubs, very specific places, just so I can meet one person. And I paid, or I should say, cancel that. I've invested in an education program where my sole intent was to go, and I knew somebody that I wanted to meet was going to be there, so I would go there simply to introduce myself to them and start a relationship. So the key to networking is have your elevator pitch ready to go, because when you do meet that person that you're looking to meet, you want to be able to say what you need to say and say it without sounding like a goofball. So what I literally did is I wrote out what I call an elevator pitch, and I put it in my wallet, I put it in my day planner, and I put it on my mirror, and I memorized this thing so that when I when I am in that situation, and maybe I'm a little, maybe a little nervous, maybe there's a lot going on, maybe there's a lot of noise, it comes out, and it comes out as if it, with a nice flow, and not like I'm trying to remember what to say. So, write this down. When you got your pen, write this down. Here's kind of a crutch for you. I want you to take this elevator pitch and make it yours, and then memorize it so it comes out in your own free-flowing words. And you just want to say something like, hey, my name is Matt Skinner, and I have a real estate business where we always have excess inventory on fixer houses in the LA area. We sell these houses to cash buyers. Do you invest in real estate? Oh, really? You do? What kind of properties would you be looking for? So it's really open, invites a conversation. You want to obviously test close them with the simple question of, do you invest in real estate? And by the way, you also want to ask this question. I don't care if you're at an investment club or a real estate seminar or anything like that. You want to test close your audience. You don't want to spend 30 minutes talking to somebody who doesn't have any interest. So write that down. I'll read it one more time so that you guys can jot it down and use this. And it's just, hey, my name is Matt Skinner, and I have a real estate business where we always have excess inventory on fixer houses in the LA area. And we sell these houses to cash buyers. Do you invest in real estate? Oh, really? And what kind of properties would you be looking for? Simple stuff. It's a great icebreaker. It's a great elevator pitch. They immediately know what you do and how you can help them with perhaps one of their needs, which is finding deals. But one key that I want to point out is you always want to come from a position of what's in it for them, not what's in it for you. You don't want to start talking about the profit that you make from flipping these deals to cash buyers. You want to talk about how you can provide them a supply, how you can make it easy for them to be finding deals on a regular and consistent basis. You want to always focus on, when you're networking and when you're developing a relationship, always ask yourself, what can I do for them? And that's going to come across not just in your language, but in your tonality and your body language, and people are going to read that. So think that in your mind, and it'll communicate and make you successful in leaps and bounds. A third key to networking is to have something tangible to give them. I always joke when I don't have a card, which is very, very rare, by the way. If I don't have a card in my pocket, I always make a joke, and I say something like, I'm an expert marketer. I don't even have a card with me. So don't be embarrassed. Don't embarrass yourself like that. Always have cards with you with your information so you can exchange cards with people. I'll make a note here. What I don't want you to do is force your card on people, but a great way to network is to say, hey, I really enjoyed talking with you today. Why don't we exchange cards so we can stay in communication? And that's just a really open way to invite people to communicate. Number two, you could have a flyer or something like that. One of the things that I almost always do when I go to a real estate training or a club meeting or a seminar is I'll bring either a current deal that I'm working on or a recent deal that we just closed. And I'll just walk around with it, hold it in my hand, and it's a great conversation starter. Now, I want to be clear about this. I'm not necessarily running around the room trying to pitch my deal. In fact, don't do that. When I sit down, say at a seminar table or a training table, I might just set it out in front of me, and inevitably you're going to have people throughout the program come up and just ask you about it. Oh, what is that? Where you work? Is that a deal you're working on? Tell me more about that. It's just a great icebreaker to open up. If you're meeting people in the hall at one of these club meetings or a training, just simply hold it in your hand and let them notice that you're holding something. And what I mean by a recent deal flyer is just, if you've got a house that you just sold, you might have a picture of the house and some details, some specs. Maybe you talk a little bit about what on the flyer. You talk a little bit about the ARV versus the the offering price, the purchase price, and things like that. Use it as a prop. It's not you're not trying to push this on anybody, but use it as a prop. It's a fantastic icebreaker. The point of networking is simply this. The point of networking is to tell everyone that you know what you do. I sell cheap, discounted houses, or I sell houses at 57% off, retail, or be specific but be succinct and let people know what you do. Let your friends know, your family know, your neighbors know. Let everybody that you know what you do. So let's dive in deep here. We talked about networking, and that's awesome stuff. But let's talk about some other ways to build your buyers list. And you can employ, some or all of these tactics, but you definitely want to be doing at least two of these to build a real good, solid database of qualified buyers. Networking, by the way, is by far the most powerful way to build your buyers list, but it's also the slowest way to build your buyer list. So definitely do networking, incorporate that into your business model. I would suggest that you go to at least one and maybe two if you're at this real estate business full time. Go to at least one or two networking events or situations each week. And when I say a networking event or situation, that can be, like I said, a club or a seminar, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be a lunch. It could be a meetup. It could be anything maybe more personal where you're meeting somebody one-on-one where you can get to know them and develop a relationship. But you definitely want to be doing that. It's one of the most important things you can do in the real estate business, so don't leave that one out. So building your buyers list. We'll lead with the way that you can cheat. How's that sound? Did you know you can actually buy a buyer's list? That's right. Buy a buyer's list. You would just call a list broker up, and you're going to tell them the target area that you've chosen to be putting deals under contract in. Deals, a geographic location of where your deals are going to be. And then you ask your list broker to provide you a list of people that either bought properties all cash within the last 6 months to a year, or maybe you ask them to give you a list of every single property that closed and vested in it as an LLC. So LLCs that bought property in your target market or cash buyers in your target market. Those are really just the most simple ways to do it. You're going to buy a list. Lists usually cost a few $100 depending on the size of your list, and they're usually going to give you the name and the mailing address and sometimes even the phone number if you need that. And if you can get it, that's great. You can just make some calls and start introducing yourself. Or if you just get a list of names and mailing addresses, you can simply, mail your list a piece of mail once a month or more often, or however often you can afford to do that. Mail them a letter, and the letter should be simple. Hey, my name's Matt Skinner. I have a real estate business where we always have inventory on fixer houses in the LA area. We sell to cash buyers. Recently, I sold a house to a cash buyer for about 40% of the after repaired value. My direct relationships with sellers and the banks allow me to have access to a bunch of off-market properties. If you'd like to hear about these houses before your competition does, that's a really key point, underline that, give me a call or shoot me an email, and we can discuss how we can help each other. Now, when you're doing direct mail, you want to do it one of two ways. Postcards are super cheap, and they don't have to get opened to get read. So if you got something, a catchy headline or a catchy image, you can very easily, get your postcards read, and they're super cheap. I think we're doing a mailing to apartment owners right now, and it's costing 43 cents per piece, and that includes printing, graphic artwork, design, and postage. So that's delivered, 43 cents a piece. So super cheap to send postcards. I think a stamp costs more than that these days. And speaking of stamps, the only other way you should be doing direct mail, unless you're sending like a FedEx package or something like that, which is grossly expensive, is to send what I call a grandma letter. Grandma letters are by far the best way to do direct mail. And that grandma letter is simply, the reason I call it a grandma letter is because you want to make it look like it come from your grandma. How do you do that? I don't know if my grandma always sent me, cards for my birthday or cards for Halloween or Valentine's Day or whatever, and she'd usually put, $1 in the card. And so when Grandma's card came, it just, anchored this overwhelming joy that I got a note from Grandma and I got $1 in the mail, and it's a really cool thing. So grandma letters not only get opened because people believe that they might be from somebody they know, but they get opened because there's, in most cases, an attachment to a positive reinforcement. And so a grandma letter is simply this. I buy a wholesale box of stationary envelopes. They're the kind that like a birthday card would come in. I've found that pastels like pastel purple or pastel pink. I know that there's better names for colors than that, but after all, I am a real estate guy, so don't fault me on my color problems. But I get a pastel kind of a pinkish or purple color envelope. I'm going to print my letter. I'm going to stuff it inside, and the letter is going to say the same thing that the message on the letter is going to say the same thing that my postcard had. But I'm going to take this envelope. I'm going to put the letter inside of it. I'm going to post it with a live stamp. And by the way, if your stamp is a little bit crooked or upside down, for some reason, they're more likely to get opened. And if you handwrite the address on the cover, on the envelope that you're mailing it to, it's the highest response rate for direct mail that there is. So it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, but it's a great way to go. I would say as a backup plan, if you don't have a friend, family member, or otherwise an intern or something like that, to handwrite all your addresses on your grandma letters, I would suggest to get a clear sticker, which you can get like Office Depot or Office Max or Staples, and write on it like it's like calligraphy, so it looks kind of like a wedding invitation. It looks like something that was printed with the purpose of looking nice, and those get opened pretty well as well. The last thing you want to do on these envelopes is stick a white, sticker on there with New Times Roman font address on there, because immediately it screams junk mail and doesn't get opened. So mail your target audience. If you buy a list, mail them a letter. Make sure that you package the letters and the postcards in such a way that they get opened, and do that on a regular basis. So, the response that you want to get from these letters is to have them either give you a call or to check out your website online. And I'm going to show you in just a second. Well, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a specific type of web page called a squeeze page, and how to attract buyers to just opt in to your list without you even having to do anything with it. Moving on, the next thing that you want to do, another tactic you can use to build a buyer's list, and this is really cool. It actually puts your buyer's list building on autopilot, is running loss leader ads. And a loss leader ad, this is a term that I got from, big marketing companies use loss leader ads. And an example of a loss leader is a car dealership puts one picture of one truck in their newspaper ad, and it says, this week only $125 a month payments, no money down, et cetera, et cetera. It's like so unbelievably well priced that you can't help, if you're in any kind of a market, to go look at buying trucks. You're going to show up to that dealership and find out what they have. Now, how do you think I learned this? The first brand new truck that I ever bought was sold to me based on a loss leader ad. So I found this ad, and it was like so ridiculously low price payments that I ran down to the Chevy dealership, and I said, "Oh man!" I started looking at the trucks, and the sales guys got me sitting in these trucks and test driving them and these things. And I said, "Well, man, I like this one. I want the black one." I picked out the colors and the stuff that I wanted on this truck, and And then he said, well, this is the price, X amount of dollars. And I said, well, wait a minute, your ad said that trucks were on sale today, and it costs, this many dollars. Well, come to find out what a loss leader is on a car dealership is they have one truck that's in the back, and it's dusty, and it's green, and has no upgrades or any options on it, and that one truck is used as a loss leader. They'll sell that one truck that they had a heck of a time selling anyway at a discount just to drive the traffic through their lot. And so what you want to do is create that same kind of a trap, if you will. And trap's probably a bad word, but we use traps, whatever. This is marketing. Marketing is fishing, marketing is hunting. And I want you guys to be fishers of men and hunters of big game. So on your loss leader ad, you're going to post an ad on Craigslist or ForSaleByOwner.com or one of those kinds of websites where people go to look for houses that are for sale by owners. And you want to, maybe snap a picture of a house that you're targeting to buy in your target market. So you want to make sure it's a house that really, the style and the location and the background looks like a house that fits your target market. And then you want to put on that ad some numbers. You want to put like after repaired value is $200,000, the repairs are $40,000, and you can buy it now for $110,000, or if you really want to get extreme, put $80,000 or something like that. But the more realistic your loss leader ad is, the more response that you're going to get from real qualified people. Real investors that have money and are interested in buying real estate. They didn't get money by being stupid, so don't treat them like they're stupid. Put an ad up that makes sense. And if you've done wholesale deals in your market before, just continue to run those wholesale deals on your loss leader. So there'll be real live deals, and you're not making anything up. But if you haven't ever done a deal in that target market, then make one up. This is marketing. And you want to put on there, the house needs work. Maybe list some of the repairs that need to be made. Don't list anything that sounds too daunting, like, the foundation has disappeared. Put things like needs paint, carpet, may need some, cabinets, things like that, things that most rehabbers are more than comfortable doing. Here are some very key things to put on your loss leader ads. You've got a picture of this house that looks like it needs work. It's in your target market. You've given them some really attractive numbers that they can, that most investors are going to be interested in. And then you want to put principals only, no agent commissions. And that's going to save you a ton of time from every real estate agent in the planet calling you trying to list your your mythical property. If you don't put that on there, your phone's going to blow up with real estate agents. So, if you want to put that on there, it saves you a ton of time. Always put your name, and I would suggest if you can put your first and last name, it'll be more credible for people to call you. But if you only feel comfortable with putting your first name, then do that. And last but certainly not least, put your phone number. And you want them to call you. You want to develop a relationship. Take those calls directly and ask the questions that you need to ask of your buyers. Later, when we discuss squeeze pages, you can also add your squeeze page URL, but it's much more powerful. It's much more effective to put your cell phone number on the ad. So what do you do once they call? Well, when they call, they're going to say, hey, I saw your ad about such, I saw your ad on Craigslist is usually what people say. And I just say, hey, Steve, I'm so glad you called. Let me get your name and contact information just in case we get disconnected. Now, in today's day and age, almost everybody has caller ID, and so it's not really that big of a deal. But what I'm doing immediately is getting the information out of my potential buyer or my prospect as soon as possible. I don't want to be chit-chatting with somebody for half an hour and then they say, I don't really feel comfortable giving you my contact information, because you just wasted all of your time. So I just say, hey, let me get your name and contact information just in case we get disconnected. Oh, what's your phone number, Steve? Oh, super. And your email? And you just ask it with confidence. You can almost always get it immediately right off the top. Now, which house were you calling about? I have so many is the next piece that you want to ask. And you should, if you got your paper out, be writing this stuff down. Now, which house were you calling about, Steve? I have so many. And that automatically implants in his mind that you're a deal maker, that you've got deals, that you're a source that he can come to. And he's going to say, oh, I saw the house on Craigslist. I think it was on, Ferryman Way or whatever street it was. And you say, oh, man, Steve, I'm sorry. That house is no longer available. But I get deals like that all the time. And then describe the deal or describe a deal that you've recently done and talk about the kinds of deals that he can participate in or buy from you in the future. And then ask him, after you described a really cool deal, ask them, how many deals have you done like that? Or how many deals like that do you want to do? And by the way, Steve, how do you plan on paying for them? You want to get the information out of them that they're going to volunteer. It's a subtle way to allow them to say, hey, I'm an all-cash buyer, I close quick, and let's get this done. I'm looking to buy 6. If you have deals like that, I can buy 6 a month, and let's rock this. You know that you've got a qualified buyer that needs to go on your buyer's list. Now, the one thing you want to have up on these types of calls is you want to have your little radar up, and you want to sniff out people that are wholesaling. And it's okay. Wholesalers ought to be calling you on these deals. In fact, I'd say you're going to get a big chunk of people calling you that are wholesalers, and that's cool. You don't add them to your buyer's list. You add them to your other list that's going to have a title of wholesaler, because you're going to want to work with these people, and I'm going to show you how to do it in a few minutes, but you don't necessarily want them sniping on your deals when they first come out the door. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So ask them how many deals they'd like to do, how many they can afford to do, and how they plan to pay for the deals when you provide them a great deal like that. Other than that, last thing I'm going to do is ask them, hey, would you like to be notified on the next deal with that kind of margin? And if they say no, you could just ask them if they're stupid. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Remember, it's relationships. Ask them, hey, can I send you an email next time I have a deal like that? Would you like to receive that? And obviously, their answer needs to be yes, or they don't need to be on your list. So moving on, you've set up loss leader ads. You've done, might have done some direct mail to people that close escrow and LLCs or have bought properties all cash with no loans, and you've got some really powerful buyer's list building tools at your disposal so far. But now we're going to dig into some really powerful stuff, and the next thing up is bandit signs. Now, if you don't know what a bandit sign is, a bandit sign has become a kind of a slang term for a sign that you post up on a telephone pole or a light pole. Do they have telephone poles anymore? Yeah, light posts or some kind of a public area around streets and in neighborhoods. So you're going to post up bandit signs. And by the way, the reason that they call these things bandit signs is because most municipalities don't really, let's just say they don't have a positive feeling about people that go and, put advertising up all over these nice neighborhoods and things like that. In fact, the nicer neighborhood that you're in, probably the less time your bandit sign is going to stay up. So, but if you follow a few simple tricks that I'm going to tell you in a second, you'll see how to overcome that. But anyway, most municipalities have like some kind of a rule where you can put up a sign and it's supposed to stay up for 48 hours, and then if they stay up longer than that, they usually have a city worker that drives around and just takes down these signs. So one trick that you can employ is bring a ladder or a step ladder with you and put these bandit signs as high up on the pole as possible, because the likelihood of the guy that works for the city having a ladder or a step stool to take your sign down is very low. And so I put up signs I still have signs that have been up for years because we put them up so high, and they still pull. So it takes a little bit of extra effort, but believe me, it's worth it in time and money. So what the heck should your bandit sign say? The bandit signs that we use just say really simple things. House for sale, cheap, and then list your phone number. Or house for sale, needs work, your phone number. Or house for sale, handyman special, and your phone number. Put them up around your target area, the area that you're actively, farming and looking for deals in. And when people call you, because they will call you, people that are looking for deals in your target market are going to be driving the neighborhoods just like you do, and they're going to see your signs, and they're going to call you. So what do you say to these folks when they call you? Well, it's exactly the same thing that you're going to talk to them about when, the same script you're going to use when they call off your lost leader ad or when they call off your mail. Hey, I'm so glad you called. Let me get your name and contact information just in case we get disconnected. Now, which house were you calling about? Oh, it's not on a house. It's on a telephone pole. Oh, that's fine. Which street were you on? Because, I have so many houses for sale. Oh, man, that house on that street that we put that sign up for is no longer available. But I have other deals, or I have deals like that all the time. Let me talk to you about how we can work together and how I can show you those deals simply by me sending you an email when they come out. So you want to kind of follow that same script and get people to call you about these bandit sign deals that you have posted up. Bandit signs cost about $1 a piece if you order them online, plus shipping. So you can order like 100 signs, probably cost you about $127 or something like that. Have them all nice and pretty. We like to use bright yellow ones. I've experimented with green and orange and other things like that, but straight up yellow signs, black print seem to get the best response. So, don't try to figure out why. Just do what works and use yellow and black. But there's one kind of bandit sign that actually pulls better than the yellow and black one, and it's actually cheaper. So if you've got a budget you got to stay within, this is the way to do it. Get yourself one of those big fat black Sharpie markers. Costs a few bucks at the Staples or what have you, and cut up some cardboard, 18 by 20 or 18 by 24 squares, rectangles, and sit down and write out your message on each one of those cardboard pieces and put those up as your bandit signs. Or if you've got slave labor like kids or nephews or nieces, this is a great army to put to work for you. Just make sure that you have ice cream to bribe them with and reward them with for doing such a great job. So put up your bandit signs, make your phone ring, and they work like magic. Now, next, I want to tell you, and I almost wasn't even going to include this because this is really bandit signs for the 21st century. And this is so cool and it pulls so well that I was a little bit concerned because I'll probably start seeing across the world after saying this, everybody putting them up all over Facebook. But Facebook has revolutionized marketing. And what I'm going to show you how to do right now is how to post a bandit sign on Facebook. And it's actually way cheaper than you think, and it is way cheaper than doing actual physical bandit signs. So you're going to take your bandit sign concept, and I'm going to show you how to into the 21st century, and you're going to use it on Facebook. So the first thing you're going to do that is you can go to a website called Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and on Fiverr.com you're going to get a graphic made. And everything on Fiverr costs $5. So you're going to hire a graphic artist to design you a image of a bandit sign. Same message, discount houses for sale, pretty houses, ugly houses. Make sure you mention your city or the city that you're targeting for your marketing, and put that on your graphic. Same rules apply. Yellow background, black copy, black font. Make it easy to read, and then obviously you want to include either your phone number or your URL or your website address that I'm going to teach you how to make in just a second. So go to Fiverr, have this image made. By the way, Facebook, for some reason, well, not for some reason, they get paid. They charge you only for the ads that people click on. So if you post this ad and nobody clicks on it and your ad sucks, which is, by the way, what that means, basically you don't pay anything for that. But you pay for every time somebody clicks on it. So because of that, Facebook doesn't really take too kindly for you posting your phone number on these ads. But I've seen other people get away with it, and I don't know, maybe that's something you want to try. So you want to put your phone number or your website address on there. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how to build a squeeze page just like mine. Earlier, I gave you the address at 12properties.com, and I'm just going to read some of the copy off of that for those of you that maybe don't have your computer in front of you. And our squeeze page simply says, "Attention rehabbers and landlords. Are you sick and tired of wasting time, energy, and money searching for your next project? If the answer is yes, then you're in the right place. We've discovered a way to secure an endless supply of cheap, local houses for pennies on the dollar, and now you can have access to them for free. We have control of every property we offer, no third parties. No one else has access to these houses. All of them are under 50% of market value. If you're a serious rehabber or landlord, keep reading." And I just go into some details about how the process works. And you can write down 12properties.com and check it out and model this. But I'm going to give you a template to use so you can set this up for yourself in just a second. So that's what I put on. That's where my URL leads to. That's called a squeeze page. And so if you're creating a URL or a website address, if you will, when they click on your ad, you're going to take them directly to that website address. So, and by the way, you can also use your squeeze page address on Craigslist or Google or any other place where it allows you to post hyperlinks, LinkedIn, all those kinds of things. And using these squeeze pages really sets your business on autopilot. So I highly encourage it. So post your graphic on your page. So you got this graphic made by an artist on Fiverr. You're going to go to your own page and you're going to post it, just like you would post a picture of, your family or your kids or whatever, the meal you're about to eat, your muscles at the gym, or maybe not, maybe your muffin top, whatever. Post the picture just the same way you'd post any other picture on Facebook, and then what you're going to do is write the same copy that's on your sign right into the text box on the Facebook page, and include the hyperlink to your squeeze page. So you're going to have the image, and then it's going to just repeat the copy right with it. And then you're going to go to, on your Facebook page, click Ad Manager. That's AD, like Advertisement Manager. Ad Manager, go to Create Ad, choose your page, and then choose Promote Page. Really simple steps. Post it on your timeline. Ad Manager, Create Ad, your page, Promote Page, and the next thing is the most powerful thing about Facebook advertising that there ever. This is just the most amazing thing that's happened in marketing. It's incredible. Marketing is so powerful these days because of the internet, and I want to show you how to do it. When you put on this step, or when you go to choose your audience, not only are you going to be able to choose a geographic location like you did when you were putting up physical bandit signs. So if you choose, if you're doing deals in Santa Monica, California, and you say, okay, I'm going to go, and I know that the Santa Monica is going to tear down my bandit signs within 24 hours if I go put them up on light posts. But if I go on Facebook, I can post my bandit signs and post them they'll only appear to people that live or work in Santa Monica, and Facebook knows. So choose your geographic boundaries, your target area where you'll have deals to sell. And then we're going to drill down even further. It's way more powerful than just that. You're going to also choose, you only want to show your ad to people who like certain things. And you can, people that have looked at LoopNet and have liked their page, or people that have looked at Zillow and liked that page, or maybe a local real estate investment club and liked that page. And this is a really powerful one too. Self-directed IRA companies, if you've gone to a self-directed IRA company and have liked their page, so these are people that you're just narrowing down your list. And people that like this kind of real estate stuff and alternative investment type stuff are highly likely to be qualified to be on your buyer's list. So you want to just drill down on that. And, you can even use certain real estate trainers or teachers that have students, and make sure you use one that actually, has students that actually does deals. You can advertise on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Skinner's System. We'll get you, you can put that up, and so all of my students, all the people who have liked my page, which I think there's a couple thousand of them, will receive your advertising. But make sure it's a target demo. So you've narrowed it by geography. Now you're narrowing it by what your target audience likes and participates in. And here's another tip. If you have friends on Facebook that are, doing deals, you got a guy that's posting, he rehabbed 6 houses last month and he's looking to buy his next 10 houses, you might just want to go to his page and look at the kinds of things that he's liked. You can get a good idea of what kinds of stuff that people like him are into, and you want to use that for your target audience. I even just recently heard that you could even target people that are likely to buy home improvement materials. Is that insane? How does Facebook know who's likely to buy home improvement materials? Well, a rehabber would be likely to buy home improvement materials, right? And Facebook knows. Facebook knows. So drill down, be creative, and don't be afraid to go in and test this. Test an ad for 3 or 4 days and then adjust your settings and try it a different way and just try to figure out what the best target audience is for you. I mean, setting the next phase is setting a campaign budget, and you can tell Facebook, hey, I want to spend $1 a day, or you can say I want to spend $20 a day, or I want to spend $500 a day. You can decide how much advertising, how many times they're going to show it. And the higher your budget, the more times they're going to show the ad, because remember, they only get paid when people click on it. So they want you to, exhaust your budget. And you want to exhaust your budget. You want those clicks coming through because that means money for you. So it's a super, super cheap way to be marketing online on Facebook and have a super targeted audience, and it's super simple to get this stuff posted. So last step in posting on Facebook is to place your order. Click the button that says place order. You're going to enter your credit card information, and then they'll just bill you once a day for your daily budget, and it's just as simple as that. And your post will be placed on everyone within the geographic area that you're selecting and everybody that has likes and interests that you've selected. So you should have a pretty well-targeted audience. And so, again, you want to drive them to your squeeze page. If you can get them to call you, awesome. It's the same as direct mail. It's the same as bandit signs. Get them to call you. It's a really powerful way. But if you can, drive them to your squeeze page. So they click on your ad, and they get dropped off on your squeeze page. And, you want to entice them to opt in. So now, obviously, this is kind of, like I said, kind of new age marketing stuff maybe for some of you. Some of you guys I know on this call have been in the real estate business for a long, long time and may or may not have done advertising like this to build a buyer's list. But it's really powerful. It's the new way. It's the new thing. And so I encourage you to do it. But I understand that not everyone knows how to build a website or a squeeze page or operate an autoresponder email system. And because of that, I have a very special bonus for you. Drum roll, please. I had this really cool program that I put together, and I'm going to tell you about it right now. So get out that paper that you wrote down bonus from Skinner on the top left-hand corner, and get ready to write this down. I'm going to say it a couple of times because I want you to have it. But like I said, I'm not giving this away to anybody else. If you weren't on this call tonight, you're not going to be able to get access to this any other way unless you're a coaching student of mine. And so write this down. You're going to go to Skinner's System, SkinnersSystem.com / and this is really important, / OK bonus, as in Oklahoma bonus. So SkinnersSystem.com / OK bonus. And you're going to be able to log in there. It's free, absolutely no charge. I just want you to have this stuff because I think this is the most powerful way of marketing your business these days. Is to learn how to set up. Not only are we going to teach you how to do squeeze pages, not only are we going to show you, step by step how to do this, but this system that you're opting into is actually a portal that I have, and that I set up for my coaching students. So my coaching students already have this access, and it's just a small piece of a much larger deal-making program that we have. But we set this portal up very special for this call tonight, and it's a 7-day program. That doesn't mean you only have 7 days to look at it, but what it means is it walks you through a 7-day step process. So on day 1, do this. On day 2, do that. And on day 3, and so on and so forth. That's the way we do our trainings. We like to help people just go step by step so that you can, anybody can do it, and you just follow right along, and you're going to have success if you just, do step 1, do step 2, do step 3. Don't do step 5 first, do step 1 first. You get it? Obviously, the reason that I teach it that way, by the way, is because, I'm just a big old dummy who fights in cages and used to be a general contractor and dug ditches for a living and all those kinds of things. So, I'm nothing special. I'm nothing smart or super smart. What I do is I just learn from really smart people, and I have a really great talent for breaking it down into systems. And so I want to share my step-by-step systems with the people that I coach. So it's a 7-day program that I created for my coaching students on how to get their business systems set up, and it's called Foundations. And in it, you're going to learn how to get your own URL, your own website address, and it could be, frankbuyshouses.com or discounthouses.com or whatever you choose that's still available. And, don't worry about it being some kind of sexy name or catchy name. This is only used for a URL. This is going to be used kind of behind the scenes that people are just going to click on. So it could really be anything you want it to be. Obviously, we put on all of our squeeze pages 1, 2 in front of whatever our name is because we found that it's highly likely that they're available. So, again, my squeeze page is 12properties.com. We have other ones like 12 retirement, 12 investing, all kinds of different squeeze pages for different kinds of models and things like that. So not only are we going to teach you how to get your website address set up, because that's not that big of a deal, but we're going to teach you how to set up your squeeze page. I'm going to walk you through, actually I'm going to give you my template for my squeeze page that you saw, and so you can take it and modify it. I'm going to show you how to set up your own hosting account so you can actually put your website up into the World Wide Web. And I'm going to show you how to set up an autoresponder email system. And an autoresponder email system is just simply, it's an email account where you can send big group emails. You could send 20 emails to your buyers list or 200 emails to your buyers list. I think my buyers list is, we weed it down on a regular basis because we only want qualified people. But I think we still have like 700 or 800 people on our buyers list at any given time. So every time we get a deal that we want to flip or wholesale, 700, 800 people or more are seeing our deal. It's coming across their desk, and you do that not by sending them one by one, but by using an email system, which we show you how to do in the Foundations course. And it's called an autoresponder email because in addition to that, once somebody opts into your squeeze page, you're going to be able to set up, 3 or 4 emails that are going to automatically go to them. It says, hey, man, so great that you joined in. Can't wait to send you some deals. And just it's an automated email system so you stay in communication and, like we said earlier, build relationship. In the Foundations, we teach you how to name your business because without a business name, you're just some guy off the street. You don't have any credibility if you're just, hey, my name's Joe, and I'm looking to, I have some houses for sale. But if you're, Joe's Discount Houses, that's a big, that's a different kind of a name. And having a business, having a name, sets you up for bigger successes and more credibility. In the Foundations course, there's some deal checklists, how to identify your target, how to pick your target market, how to set up a target market to not only mine for buyers in, but to mine for sellers in as well. And we'll show you how to set up your team so you can do more deals, escrow, closing attorneys, title, and all kinds of things like that. Setting up your team and putting that whole package together so that you're ready and able to do deals on a moment's notice. And let's see, I even show you what you should and shouldn't put in your email signature to ensure that you're getting the most out of every email that you send. And again, by the way, all this stuff, totally 100% free bonus. Guys, I just want to appreciate you because, you guys are folks that when people in our country were having some trouble, you stepped up to the plate and made a difference. And I just want to acknowledge that just one more time before we conclude tonight. And I want to, hopefully in some small way reward you for being that kind of person, because that's the kind of person that I want to be in relationship with. That's the kind of person that I want to do deals with. That's the kind of person that I want to hang out with, people like you who invest in yourself and invest in your training and invest in your success, and then give back to people that need you. So again, I just honored to be doing this call tonight. So again, 100% free. There's no cost. So please take advantage of this. And I'm going to give you the login one more time. It's skinnersystem.com/OK bonus. skinnersystem.com/OK bonus. Go there right now and get plugged in. By the way, there's even a place on the foundations to post questions, and since we ran longer than I expected to run, you can go, once you log into Foundations, you can go in there and there's a forum where you can post questions and kind of interact with not only all the people that are on this call, but also all the coaching students that we have that have access to as well. So you kind of have a little forum there to post questions and get your any comments that you want to make about this would be highly appreciated as well. So, by the way, I go on this site several times a week and I answer questions and we kind of dialogue back and forth about specifics and things like that. So that's kind of what that platform does, and I'm excited to have you included there. So before we conclude, I want to give you one more bonus. Is that okay? I know it's running a little bit long on this, but I think this is going to be good stuff. So hang out for just a moment longer. Check this out. This is how you really catapult your wholesale business, by using your buyer's list. I told you in the beginning that you need to build your buyer's list first before you go out and do anything else to start your real estate business or to start your wholesaling business. And for those of you that are already doing a killer job at wholesaling, this is a fantastic refresher to just keep that buyer's list fresh, because you always want to have new buyers to buy your stuff. So check this out. This is worth at least $5,000 on your first deal, by the way, and it's a free bonus to you. And this is all about affiliate wholesaling. So if I get a deal and I've sent it out to my list, and I know that I have a short timeline on the contract that I put together, or maybe it's not that great of a deal, which rarely happens for us, but maybe it's not the sweetest deal of all time, and you just need to have more eyeballs looking at it than you have on your list. I'm going to suggest that you create an affiliate relationship with other wholesalers in your area that have a similar target audience as you do. And what I'll do is and I do this for other wholesalers in my area. I have a person that is in Orange County, and we blast each other's deals all the time. She'll have a deal that maybe isn't moving as fast as she wanted it to, so she'll send it to me and say, "Hey, Matt, shoot this out to my list, and I'll split the wholesale fee with you," and vice versa. So I send her deals to I send her deals to my buyer's list, and I send my deals out to her buyer's list. And the way that we've arranged it is we just created a mutual understanding of splitting the wholesale fee, which is pretty fair. Now, if you're just getting started and you've got a deal and no buyer's list, then this is the fastest way to get that deal sold. Get another wholesaler that's already got an established buyer's list and ask them to blast it for you. Now, if you're doing a reciprocating email blast and you've got 20 people and your partner, your affiliate partner's got 200, obviously your list is not nearly as valuable to him as it is as his is to you. So find somebody that you can work with and split your wholesale deals with them. It's a powerful way, very powerful way to get started. Now, if you've only built your buyers list and you don't have any deals, you need to get out there and network with other wholesalers and market their deals, because it's a way to put fast cash in your pocket. Imagine that you don't even have to look for deals or make offers on deals. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, by the way. I'm just saying maybe you haven't yet, or you haven't gotten a deal contracted yet. So you can go out and find other people who have put deals together and do have wholesale deals to sell, and you've already done the work of putting a buyer's list together, and now you can make a nice, hefty wholesale fee by helping them market their deal for sale. Very powerful, and it's, this is the way that that deals get done. I always say real estate is a team sport, and so make sure you're always building your team. The name of the game is to get your deals sold and to do what you need to do to keep your list warm. So I'm going to give you some quick, easy steps to keep your buyer's list warm, even if you don't have deals to sell right away. And that is, you want to be emailing your list of buyers at least once a week. You can email them an interesting article about the local market or the economy in general that you think that they might benefit from or that you found interesting. You can email them, maybe dates and times of a local real estate investment club or groups that are meeting, or a meetup group that might be interesting to your local, your qualified buyers list. The other thing I would highly encourage you to do is tombstone the deals that you've closed. And what tombstoning means is if you just sold a wholesale deal, the very next day I want you to blast that out, and you don't need to add any specifics or any details to that, but just say, hey, that house that I blasted you last week, yeah, it's closed. And what that does is lends you such massive credibility to the other buyers on your list. Number one, they recognize that they need to move quickly next time you have a deal for them. And number two, it shows that, hey, there's a market for that kind of deal. So even if you thought that deal sucked, I just proved to you that it didn't. And I'm a kind of person that makes deals and helps people find great opportunities by being on my list. It validates your importance in their business system. So send at least one email each week to keep your email list warm, your list of qualified buyers, and send out those affiliate wholesale deals if you don't have a deal to sell. Excuse me. If you don't have a deal to sell, send out other people's deals that are for sale. So in conclusion, always be marketing. Network your butt off. You want to be attending at least one or two if you're a full-time professional real estate investor, 2 networking meetings each week. Constantly run loss leader ads on Craigslist or other similar type of platforms, and that's free. Put up bandit signs in your target market, on telephone poles and on Facebook, and do that at least once a week. Manage that. Make sure that's a constant flow. You'll have a constant inflow of qualified buyers coming to you. And last but certainly not least, keep your buyers list warm by giving them value. Always look at your relationships based on what you can give people, not what's in it for you. So build your buyers list before you have a deal, and once you have a deal, get it out to your buyers as soon as possible. Because if you have a deal and you don't have a buyer's list, you're just simply too late. Get your free bonus at skinnerssystem.com/OKBonuses. And once again, I appreciate you guys for being here. I love hanging out with people that invest in themselves and invest in their future. To your success.